this wet-ass pussy. Beat it up, catch a charge, extra large and extra hard. Put this pussy right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another edition of Big Kris Live, the live stream, and then the podcast. And we have a new sponsor to announce today. Very excited for this episode. We have a special guest as well in league with this sponsor. We want to thank RetroCat Gaming Systems. You can play over 8,000 games from more than 15 of your favorite retro video game devices. It's all on one handheld.
With some wet-ass...
Oh, wait, wrong clip.
Shipped from Ontario right to your door. Shop online today at retrocat.ca or choose same-day pickup in the GTA. Retrocat.ca. Let's get nostalgic.
And we are off to the races. Thank you to RetroCat Gaming Systems. And now, the big reveal, our guest on the screen behind me, Dean Blundell. You know him because I've mentioned him pretty much every podcast episode for the last couple of months. DeanBlundell.com. Yes, that Dean Blundell. And Dean, thanks for being on, man. Thanks for being on this evening.
Thanks for having me. Really, it's cool. I'm glad you had me on your podcast. I was wondering when I would get invited. So,
well, you did your
so this is good.
Fair share of invites coming my way as well too. It's been great guesting on your podcast and being, of course, part of your network. That's why. I'm welcoming RetroCat Gaming into my universe, much the same way as this guy, Dean Blundell, welcomed me into his little ecosystem.
What is RetroCat?
RetroCat, it's a little company out of Grimsby, just outside of Hamilton, Ontario. They make handheld video game devices. And like I say, there's over 8,000 games, 15 different retro classic game systems that you can get all on this one device. And what I like about it especially is that it's here in Ontario, just outside of Hamilton, Grimsby.
Local guys.
Yeah, they're local. It's not shipping from China. It'll come literally. I believe they have delivery within the GTA if you want. So I think that's pretty handy unto itself. And then also Grimsby, 40 Creek gets made there, and I'm a fan of that too. I'm a big fan of Grimsby, really. Underrated town.
You're a Grimsby guy.
Grimsby guy. DeanBlundell.com, the podcast network, and for a bunch of different reasons to have you here this evening. Thanks for the exposure and the inspiration too, and for believing in me, man. You've pumped me up, and the Team Dean Twitter folks have helped me a whole bunch as well. It's been great.
Well, listen, I don't know about any of that. But you're awesome, man. It's kind of cool. We live in this like weird time where when I was in the radio, it was you had to hate everybody. It was just this gimme, right? Like you had to hate the people that you were going up against because they had what you wanted, and what you wanted was their share. And if you didn't get their share, then you might get fucking fired. So yeah, it was and every couple of months you got a reveal of what you did. So it was highly competitive, but it's really kind of fucking backwards in the podcast world, right? It is literally all about relationships. Like everything that you do when you're creating something like this is about relationships. And it's funny because, when we first started it and I'm like, yeah, I want to do this with like lots of people. I think it'd be fucking really cool. It'd be an easy way to grow to scale. Video was that you'd need to have good relationships. So because it was so competitive, I trashed people all the time. And then when it came to me going, I'd like to build this thing, and I was going around talking to people, they're like, yeah, you fucking used to trash me all the time. Like shit. You used to think terrible fucking things about me.
Yeah.
Which I got a lot. And I'd go and do guest radio things in other stations like CFRB. They've had me into guests and panels and stuff like that. And I'd see like Mad Dog, and I used to go after Mad Dog all the time. I'm like, oh fuck, geez, sorry about all that shit. I was just so competitive. I was doing but that's another story, sort of. But it kind of lends credence to the whole story, which is that was that world. This is this world, and the relationships that we've been able to build and create with really really good people. And the amount of shit I've had to eat has been enormous as well. But at the same time, it's been humbling, and it's been a great fucking learning exercise, which is, the world is about clicks and it's about content, and that's the world we live in. But it's also about having good relationships with people. And having you on our podcast has been a no-brainer. And I've just been fucking shocked by how much talent there is, people like you that have adapted so well to the podcast world. Like, you've done a really fucking great job of it, from your shit with Ashley McIsaac that you did the other day, which was brilliant, to your dad panel, old dad panel, which was awesome.
That's a personal favorite of mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it was great. It was exciting to see, because, I'd watched you do your first podcast, and I know when we first started to talk, I talked to you a little bit, but then, you started doing stuff with Kris Rook, who's our everything, right?
Yeah.
And then, watching you do really fucking great, compelling content has been awesome. So everybody kind of wins. I get to have relationships with people outside of my house, which has been weird. I get to do stuff like this with guys like you, and I get to watch great content. So I'm just really happy that it's a model that works, and we've got good people that are able to fill the content.
You talk about how competitive you were, Dean, like back in the day, and I think you've just refocused that energy. I mean, you still have that, pardon the pun, that edge, but I think you go after like the barbecue guy, the Adamson bar. You take that energy and you put it elsewhere. And
has that been too much? Has that been too much? You think?
The Adamson
think I'm too heavy on the guy? Think I'm too cross?
No. I don't, no? Cross? Okay. No. I think he's the one who's been after you, though. He's been threatening to sue you. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. If I didn't debate him.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. If you don't debate me, I'm going to sue you, and I'm well funded. And I'm like, that is fucking awesome that I kind of respected it, right? No, but I go after assholes, right? Like I spent a lot of time going after everybody, because I thought everybody was fair game. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Smoked a bowl. Pardon me.
All good.
And realized that wasn't beneficial specifically with certain groups. And so, and the world's changed, right? Like, the time that I was in radio, we were Jesus Christ. There are things that I'll see on Stitcher. Someone will send me and go, hey, remember this? And I'm like, fucking bury that. The stuff that we used to say that was all on the radio, right? Like, we get paid to do it every single day for years and years and years, and a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's a different world now. Like, the things you used to say and the way you used to be able to categorize people, and how negative you used to be able to be about different things, and the world's kind of changed because it had to, and I get that part of it. There's that, but there's also, I think that everything lives online now, and then it's there to be reviewed over and over and over again. Whereas in the FM radio world, it's gone. Once you've said it, it's gone. And anyone who heard it in the moment heard it, and God, or maybe weren't sure what they heard. Was true. I wish that was true.
How many lawsuits, by the way? How many has it been? Do you have a count?
7 or 8. Like 7 or 8.
Wow.
7 or 8 lawsuits. I think it was like 9 or 11 CBSC decisions.
Wow, yeah.
Which is the record by like 8 or 10. Depending on which number you're going with there.
I think I've had 1 or maybe 2 CBSC complaints.
Yeah. Like, those are just complaints. I'm talking decisions.
Yeah, they never went
adjudication.
Yeah, they never went anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny because I've heard you talk, Dean, about the ins and outs of CBSC decisions or governmental body decisions before. I'm like, fuck, this guy really knows. Like, he studied. And then I realized you had to for self-preservation.
Yeah, that's a wonderful way to say it. I had to, and I wanted to, and I still do. I'm still interested in it. It's funny, and it's not like a revenge interest. Like, I don't have this like, I want to fuck those guys with their own words. No, I don't feel that way. I think you want a bold take. You want a hot take.
Yeah, I love hot takes.
Big fat fucking hot take.
I love hot takes and bits.
I hate hot takes and I hate bits. If you want a hot take, this is my hot take. My hot take is this. If there was no CRTC, or if the CRTC just got out of the way and did away with regulations and said, you know what, you can swear, just no hate speech, and they regulated hate speech.
Yeah.
I bet your radio would be back in a big, bad fucking way. I believe that. I believe they could save themselves the time and the energy of policing the dumbest shit, like the dumbest shit that we used to get in trouble for. Yeah. That used to get adjudicated against, like, you know, to say the word shit on the radio, just the word shit, right? S-H-I-T, shit. Can't say that. That's a strike. Fuck. I mean, it's a heavy one, but fuck.
What else can you do?
Can't say that. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that whole thing and how I was going to tie it into what you just asked, but.
Well,
yeah, it's weird. It's a weird organization.
Well, listen, I mean, I've always felt, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk about with you was the idea or the concept, and we've chatted about this in DMs, the concept of real radio. And what real radio is, right? And to me, and again, I think we're sort of in league, but I haven't really vocalized it as such. But when you talk about real radio, and I did some real radio recently, and thank you for the kudos too, when we had the police violence in downtown Barrie, and we tracked down an interview, and that to me was real radio. It was being conscious to your community. It was a highlighting. Compelling interview, great guest. Yeah. And again, sometimes you never know who you're going to get.
Hot topic. It's all about the police violence. You touched it all. It was great. I listened to you guys do it.
Thank you. Yeah. And that I felt like I did real radio that day. What is it to you? How do you sum up what real radio is? Because it still happens from time to time. I see it and I know it when I see it and I hear it.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because I don't hear it. Like I think sometimes in some of the conversations that I have with people about this, I come off sounding like I'm the shit.
Oh yeah.
And while we all know I am, I don't want it to sound that way.
Yeah.
So, but what I don't hear is anybody trying. I don't hear anybody trying because I know everybody's fucking scared of losing their jobs, right? So. Yeah. It's very difficult to talk about something that's controversial, which is what we all talk about online, which I tie in back to the CRTC point, right? Get rid of those regulations. You can compete with online people. You can compete with that real conversation. If you just get rid of those regulations, you can start there, right? So, and then all of a sudden people are going to want to listen to it, and then you're going to be able to sell advertising again and all the other shit that comes back with an industry that's real, that's allowed to operate, right? So that was my tie-in.
Yeah, and to me, that's to what real radio is too, is having real conversations that reflect what real people are talking about on the street in your city,
Yeah, but back to your point about trying to do good radio, or what real radio is, real radio has the ability to compel people to feel something. Real radio has the ability to compel people to do something, whether they're angry, whether they're sad, whether they're happy, which is why, we were successful, is because that was the only thing I gave a fuck about. The only thing I really ever cared about was, are we doing something today that nobody else is doing? And are we giving people a brand of entertainment they can't get anywhere? Can't get anywhere else but with us? And is it the best shit out there today? Is it the most compelling thing? Is it going to make someone mad? Because listen, everybody hates cancel culture, but me, I love it. I fucking love it. I thrive off it. I thrive off of watching people come back and scream and yell and swear. We were trending number one in Canada like 2-3 months ago about this bit we did about a female hockey reporter. Excuse me, I almost burped. And pardon me, if you will, pardon me. And I loved it. I loved every fucking second of it. And I was talking to our VP of growth. His name is Brent Donnelly. Great guy.
Brent on Tour podcast.
Yes, sir. And Kids on the Escalator podcast, too. Don't forget that one. And he was like, doesn't that stress you out? That would just stress me the fuck out. I'm like, no, man, no. Because, of course, there's a cavalcade of tweets and shit. But I'm one of those people that, like, is very interested in how to do things better. And how to do things better on social media is you don't look at those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just don't look at that shit, and it doesn't even fucking exist. It goes away in like 2 days. It's the best.
Yeah. Dean, people always love to focus on your spectacular. Well, maybe spectacular is not the word, but anyways, people love to focus on your ending at the time at the edge. But to me, nobody focuses on that you did some great radio. You worked really hard at it. I mean, I could tell you were working your ass off for that show to build the audience, and then that audience is translated, what I'm assuming to now is your podcast network and your website, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, just kudos on the grind of doing radio. I mean, that's the other thing too. Like you say like, you know, people are afraid to, even in a way, afraid to try, you know.
How true is it? You do it now. I mean, how true is that statement?
I try all the time.
Yeah, but do you not second guess
all the time
all the content that you really want to do?
Every single
not all
second.
Content. Don't you second guess the shit that really compels you to something you want to talk about now?
Yeah.
That you can't because, you know, you just don't want to get fucking, you know, laid out at the end of your shift at 9 o'clock and have to stay there till at least 10.
Yeah, well, to have a debate over the merits of whatever you wanted to talk about that day, right? Yeah, exactly. And there's a great movie out there, which I always try and watch when I'm feeling frustrated about things sometimes. It's called Chef. I don't know. Have you seen Chef?
Is it a porno?
No, it's not a porno. No, it's with.
Oh, I'm thinking of Mr. Chef.
No, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
No. Chef is with John Leguizamo and fucking he's a famous director now. Anyways, the story is that there's a chef and he's working at this high-end restaurant,
Favreau?
Yeah, Jon Favreau. Yeah. Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. And then he ends up starting a food truck. And you know, I just need to accept, and people need to accept sometimes that you're working at a restaurant, you know, and the restaurant has a menu, and you gotta give them that menu. You gotta cook that menu. But the podcast is now the food truck that I work on weekends. You know, that's the way I look at it. I'm cooking a menu Monday to Friday. And on my off hours, I started.
This is your out. This is where you get to go and make a little side cheese. This is your side hustle, right?
Yeah.
And is it hard? Like, because you've been in radio how long? How long have you been doing this job?
20 years. So my first gig, I was 19 or 20. So, and I'm turning 40. So yeah, 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
How much has your ability to do compelling content changed in 20 years? Because I can only speak for me, and I can say it didn't change that much. I think I was the one that kind of changed it, you know, specifically here in Canada. I think it's partially my fault. But at the same time, I would love to know, because it never bothered me. I went out when it was good.
Yeah. You got to experience Club 54 when it was still cool.
Right.
Yeah. And it's changed, but, you know, I wasn't really... I guess I wasn't as aware or savvy in the early parts of my career. It was a fun job, and I was just kind of doing it and having a laugh, and it was fun.
That's the job.
Yeah, and it was, and that was the pitch was, hey, there's not a lot of money, but there's all the free CDs you can handle and concert tickets you can handle. Now we all know
booze. There's a lot of booze.
Yeah, a lot of parties and all the accoutrements, shall we say?
Beer companies show up with 2 4s on like every Friday in the summer. Here you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had a beer fridge on Fridays. We'd be drinking beers in the hallways of the radio station at one place I worked. Yeah,
that was the best.
Yeah, and
the free shit is colossal in radio.
But
at least it was.
That was the thing that I noticed that changed the most was the free shit dried up. And then I was like,
"Has the free shit dried up for real?
Oh, dude, I don't remember the last free thing that I got. I think the last free show I saw, free tickets I got, was to a Classic Albums Live, Paul McCartney and Wings.
Sure.
You know, album, Band on the Run, I think, at the Georgian Theater. You know, I took those tickets. I still went to the show, but the days of meeting Billy Joe Armstrong backstage are over.
Yeah, and showing up in like a Molson limo.
Yeah, with the top down and Do you
remember that?
Yeah, we had.
Dude, we used to get like any request that we needed from beer companies, from concert, you know, like concert promoters, from bands, from anything we needed. I came from that era where we never paid for fucking anything, like nothing, and it was criminal because some of us made a lot of money, and they were like, "Hey, do you want 4 Xboxes?" And I'm like, "Sure, I guess I can." I don't know what I'll do with the other 3. I don't need 4. Just send me 1. One's good. And free gas cards, free, like it was just it was insanity. It was insanity. Free food, free booze, free Leaf tickets to suites, to the, it was almost to the point where, and it was specifically towards the end, when I was just disenfranchised with radio. It was like a year before I left the Edge, and towards the end, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's fucking crazy how many people, A, want something from you. But B, the other thing is how far they're willing to go to get it, right? On a regular basis. And so I just would say no to shit. Like, hey, you want to drive a new car? Like, I was driving free cars. Both the cars I was driving for free. Oh, yeah. My phones were all free. It's thousands and thousands of dollars a month, guaranteed every month for free.
What's the most fucked up?
That's probably what I miss the most.
What? Yeah, me too. As do I. What's the most fucked up? You say people offered you crazy things. What's the most fucked up thing that you've been offered for a piece of station swag?
I couldn't tell you.
Really?
I mean, just the cars, right?
Yeah.
The cars are probably the most ridiculous. Like, I'll give you 2 cars, sure. All right.
Oh, I mean, not even that. Like, I mean, from a listener, from an audience member.
Like someone offering me?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, blowjobs.
Yeah?
Yeah. Never took them up on any of them, guys or girls. And then it just was the whole idea of the trading something for the blowjob that I wasn't keen on, not who was giving me the blowjob.
Yeah. It wasn't being picky about
just putting it out there.
The individual. It was more so the exchange, which felt a little filthy, which I can totally understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's a toss-up. I was offered anal for a T-shirt, dude. For
someone to do it to you?
No. For me, to receive it. And for a T-shirt, no less. Just a K-Rock 1057 T-shirt.
Hang on. Someone offered to perform anal sex on you.
No, not on me. No.
Oh, no. Said you would let them.
They would offer it up.
This was a female.
Yes, it was a female offering up the A.
So it was legitimate. It was a legitimate offer.
Yeah, it was more so like, give me a T-shirt and I'll let you put it in my butt. That was the offer, which I declined. I was honored.
Some wouldn't.
No, some wouldn't, and
some, and those are the ones you got to worry about. I find those are the guys that you really got to pay attention to. Are the guys that would go, you know what? All right, that's a good trade.
that's take them on the mom material.
Hang on a second. Just let me think about this. Let me noodle this one over. Yeah, that's a good trade. That's the kind of guy that you really want to keep tabs on if he's at a party, right? Anybody that does that. So good for you, because I would have fucking serious concerns if a story came out that you did that for a T-shirt.
No. Either way, yeah. No, one way or the other, whether I received or whether I was, and the T-shirt, of all the things, a T-shirt with a logo on it. I never understood the fascination.
Sweet T-shirt.
Yeah, I mean, it was hey, listen.
She really loved T-shirts.
Well, I think she liked, I just think she liked everything that night. I'm not sure. Yeah, she might have had some substances. And then the other weird thing, this is another weird one too, that I was offered. A guy tried to pimp his daughter out to me for tickets to, I can't remember exactly. It was a big band. I can't remember. I want to say.
And again, you said no to that, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. He's like, why don't you come over and spend some time with my daughter? And I was like, what? Are you sorry? What? And I was,
spend some time.
Yeah.
I'll
make some dinner.
An offer for sex.
I'll make some dinner.
Well, that's not an offer for sex. It's almost an embellishment.
Well, I guess
it's close to an embellishment. It's like
you're the expert on lawsuits, Dean.
It abuts embellishment right here.
Yeah.
And kind of backs off a bit. So it was more like an offer to come and meet his daughter. It wasn't an offer to have sex with the daughter.
That's true. I guess that's true. Yeah, there is, I guess. But it seemed, listen, man, he didn't have sleeves. All right. So It just had a pimpy vibe about it.
He didn't have sleeves.
He just wasn't wearing sleeves.
Most guys, you know what, Dean? I realized most guys with sleeves pimp out their kids.
Yeah.
No sleeves, they pimp the kids out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never noticed that. But that's a good one. The no sleeve move is one of those moves only like a guy like Josh Brolin can get away with in real life, right?
Oh yeah. I think
there's not many people that can pull out. Like, there's nothing worse than seeing the hair squeezing out of the shoulder onto the back of the armpit from the no sleeve, and it's holding in a bunch of fat that's trying to course through his epidermis. Right? there was literally nothing grosser to me than that. So, like, the no sleeve thing for sure is a dead giveaway that the person is a cretin.
Hey, actually, I know a good person who wears no sleeves from time to time. My stepfather-in-law, Brad. I'd love to give him, it's his birthday today, and I'd love to give him a shout out. Yeah. He got his birthday wish today, which, there he is. I put his picture up on the screen. All he wanted for his birthday, God bless him, was an Iron Maiden t-shirt. And there it is. He got it.
It's a great t-shirt. Look at the wood floors, too.
Oh, yeah, that's my in-laws' place. Gorgeous.
It's custom? Is that custom wood?
I don't know.
Looks like cherry.
I think it was like that when they moved in. I think it was like that when they moved in.
So is he like that in real life?
He's awesome. Yeah. You know how awesome he is? I get jars of weed from him.
Just given to you.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. I got about 4 of these every Christmas, birthday, and maybe Thanksgiving, different holidays, long weekends.
Has he been a lifer? Is he one of those dudes that's like always been a supporter of the plant? And
No, actually, it's just since legalization he got in. Well, I guess when he was younger, I heard he was into it, but he became obviously a stepfather to 3-4 kids, and so he cleaned up and he was, on the straight and narrow. But once it became legal, he's like, oh, I'm getting back into it. And now he grows, and now Nana's involved.
Good weed? Does he, Nana's too? He's
she
got
helps
Nana
trim.
working it?
Yeah, Nana helps trim.
Oh my God, that's incredibly awesome.
She got special gloves. I got her new gloves.
Nana.
I got her new gloves for Christmas too. I was like, here you go. It only benefits me in the end.
Dude, and there's like special pruning things for weed too that you need pruning scissors. So she's probably got all the gear. She's got special gloves.
Yeah.
She sits there. Yeah, that's good. She'll have carpal tunnel in no time.
Yeah. So that's been a really great bonus of the in-laws. It helps us get along just great.
Great in-laws. Like you've hit the in-law jackpot.
Yeah, I did.
Not many in-law fathers.
Yeah. And it all started.
Show up at Christmas with a few jars of weed.
Yeah. And everyone, it's not just for me though. It's like everyone gets a bundle, like a package or like
Christmas is like weed Santa.
He's a Weedo Claus. Jolly Saint Sticky. Anyways, and he doesn't wear sleeves from time to time. And that's how
he could work on that. That maiden shirt, thank God, had sleeves on.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, but that's how I met my wife. Anyways, that's the origin story there.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Come on over for dinner.
Yeah.
There's something that I love to always refer to, Dean, and I hope you'll take this in the best way possible. I love to refer to your network as the Island of Misfit Toys. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure. I don't care.
Okay, cool.
I don't care because, little known fact, I've been studying this thing called Stoicism recently.
Oh, Stoicism.
Stoicism. Have you heard of it? Say it with me. Stoicism.
Yeah.
It's literally the art of being happy and not giving a fuck at the exact same time.
Nice.
And my entire life, I've been looking for something like this.
Okay.
So now that I've started to read about Stoicism, the meditations from Marcus Aurelius, studies some of the works of Seneca, Zeno of Citium as well, some of the classics, I've really started to develop the same attitude as some of those guys, which is, whatever.
Let it ride.
Yeah. So never get too worked up.
Oh,
never get too excited. Never get too low. Never get too high. I literally just don't give a shit. And that's kind of the best way you need to be, right? Like, you know, you've got lots of things to be thankful for too. Like we've got like 30 different podcasts. And that brings me great joy. Fitting again into stoicism. Stay with me again. Stoicism. And while experiencing all these great things and building this kind of cool network, and we just brought on this guy that's going to help us kind of understand the YouTube world. And so we kind of had like a meet and greet about that whole thing today and got into the nitty gritty of it, and you're learning about it. That's been the best part is that there's an education here for someone who's in his 40s, who did some radio, who can't rely on any of that shit for anything I want to do in my future, right? Like that's gone. It's done. It's finished. It's over. It's fucking dead. It's almost, if it never existed, it would be the exact same way my life is now, which is, listen, you've got fucking work to do, right? That work has to be on not just me trying to get a leg up when it comes to better content and doing better podcasts, you know, doing more podcasts, which we're starting to do again with Lachlan Cross, which has been fucking great. It's about also making sure that we continue to chase different people and bring them on and expose them to our partnerships and show people how we can make their podcasts better with some of the things that we're doing, with some of the production value that we can add, and being kind of part of the social network where we're all interacting with each other, this community that we're building, which is really kind of cool, right? You know, to think about it, any great movement was always built with one thing in mind, which is community. And we built our radio show based on the exact same thing, which was community, and it was successful, you know. And building a community here and seeing it kind of take shape now, after a couple of years of really kind of trying to feel our way through it, because fuck, listen, when you start something, you start from scratch. You know, there's nobody holding your hand. There's nobody telling you, listen, this is what you have to do next if you want to be successful. You got to go and ask those questions, and that's the hardest part, because you know, you have to humble yourself before the process of trying to understand that you don't have all the answers. And so you're going to have to go and find those answers if you really want to be successful.
Where did it start? Where did you initially say this has got to be a network? Because, I mean, you know, just as a podcaster alone and blogger alone, you could have done okay, right? Like, why did it have to be a network?
I think it was because, you know, a lot of people, getting back to your Misfit Toys thing, a lot of people thought it was, and I think some people think it is that. It's, you know, people that aren't on the radio or don't want to be on the radio or were on the radio, or just, it's just like this place for people to go and do shit. And they're fucking exactly right. That's exactly what it is. It's for people from anywhere that say, listen, we do some pretty good content and we want to create more content in this space, and it's a podcast or it's a show or it's, you know, something about the Leafs or our new Assorted Goods podcast, which is great. It's this whole kind of deep dive into one little mini subject, and it's scripted and it's fucking fantastic. If you have a chance to listen to it, or it's yours or it's mine. You know, and so when we started to, you know, figure a couple of little things out, we were able to go to people and say, hey, listen, you're doing what you're doing over there. We want to be stronger with you. Do you want to do it with us? And surprisingly, a lot of people, you know, said yes. And that kind of led me to the understanding that, and I think all of us to the understanding that there are a lot of people out there that want to do this stuff, right? They want to be able to kind of conduct themselves in this manner. They want to show, they want to learn how to use Twitter, and they want to learn how to do socials, and they want to learn what it means to get something, you know, trending, or, you know, they want to be involved. They want to do content. They want to create their own sort of media. And, you know, just because we could give a couple of life hacks, I think we sort of gave a few people some opportunities to do some extra stuff, and it was all up to them, and they've done the rest, you know, and that again has been the most rewarding part, is watching people that actually give a shit about doing really good content, do really good stuff.
What I love about the podcast thing too, like you say, like with a rising tide, all boats or all ships rise, right? Or whatever the old adage is. But it really, like that. Yeah, it really has the stand-up comedy vibe, which I've been in the comedy scene in and out, you know, over the years. And it has that sort of like, hey, we're going to start an open mic and we're going to run it weekly, and it's a place for people to come and work out their jokes, or to break into doing stand-up comedy and figure out what it's all about, right? And you have all levels of talent and experience that show up to that open mic, and I kind of feel like it's a bit like that for me.
Well, I'm glad you do, because and that might be a good analogy. We're still fucking trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you work with us. I mean, we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, and trying to put one by one together to make as much as we can. And there's a plan there, and that plan is for us to provide our efforts and like-minded efforts with other people to be able to create an ecosystem that's pulls in one direction.
Yeah.
And so we kind of understand bits and pieces of this, but like this fucking game, the new media game is so weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is a weird fucking animal,
And
because it's not just about doing podcasts.
Yeah.
It's because if that was just it, I'd be off to the races. I'd be fine. And I haven't paid attention to it for really up until the last couple of months, because I've been busy with the other stuff, which it's about creating this thing for people to be able to identify with, right? That's really what it's all about. And that's the hard part, is because, you're battling a bunch of different stuff now. You're battling traditional media, which delegitimizes new media. You're battling cancel culture. You're battling, everybody else that's trying to do the same thing. And you're battling your own content. Is it good enough? And so there's lots. It's just a fucking weird time, because a lot of the content might work for this platform that might not work for that platform. And so you're always kind of trying to figure it out, and it's always new frontier shit, because it changes every day.
You're still finding ways, though. I mean, while juggling the whole network of it all, you still find ways to still, again, go after Adamson Barbecue or whoever. You're still, like, here's the thing that I love too. I mean, you still have liberals and conservatives alike hating you, and that's an emotion I'm also in touch with, in that you're just trying to speak what you believe is the truth or what is right. And because of the partisan politics of today, I mean, that's another element to social media, and also impacting media of all brands. I mean, that's the partisanship of it all. I think I tweeted something about partisan hacks the other day. That's a term that needs to come back, because I'm tired of having my friends on the left and the right hate me.
Yeah. It's a weird fucking time, dude. Like, and it's really difficult. I'm fucking glad you brought this up.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to navigate if you have a merit-based opinion. It's really difficult to navigate the world right now if your opinion is merit-based, because we don't come from we don't come from a world of anything other than identifying with left or right anymore. We come from an existence because of media and because of misinformation, right? Largely Facebook, social media. We now have to battle every understanding that we had as to what works and what didn't work, right? And so how people assess you is now by identity. It's identity politics. They'll assess you that you're this person. And if you identify now as a conservative because that's been weaponized, you're a fucking backwoods, donkey fucking racist.
Yeah.
Right? You're not fiscally conservative.
No.
You fuck donkeys.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person you are.
We just jump all the way there.
Right. And if you're called a liberal, you want to kill as many fucking fetuses as you possibly can.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking. And so those are the two extremes, and those are the two identities that everybody's created this kind of pseudo world. The best way to fucking operate in that, this is my opinion, is to not give a shit about any of it, right?
Yeah.
Is to always focus on the merits of what's happening and who did what, not the color of their skin, not the what's between their legs, Nothing.
Yeah.
No gender stereotype, no negative stereotype of specific groups. If they're gay, they're gay. If they're not, they're not. If they're black, they're black. If they're white, they're white. Who did what? And that's how I approach everything. Everything that I do is approached with and through that lens. Because if I approach anything that we do, that I talk about, from a perspective of, okay, what does this, who will this help? And how can I help my conservative friends? Or how can I help my liberal pals? Or how does this serve me? What is the best way? What is the thing that I can get out of this the most? Which is why, sometimes I write in the first person, sometimes in the second person. And the reason why I don't like writing in the first person is because I do it too much. I make it about me, and I don't want to make it about me, and I don't want to make it about politics. When we talk about people, whether it's Aaron O'Toole being an ass or Justin Trudeau being too stupid to run this country, people accuse me of sucking the other guy's dick all the time. It's like a fucking clockwork. You suck that guy's dick, though. And I'm like, geez, okay, here. And I take an article and I fucking send it to him if I care. And for me to care to respond to you, here's a little trick. You have to have over 1,000 followers.
Oh, really? That's the minimum, bare minimum? Nice. I like it. That's actually not bad. I've never thought of that.
Yeah. No, that's my thing.
I got to raise my bar.
Because listen, if I'm going to fucking take time out of my day to debase myself, to go down and explain to you why I don't suck Justin Trudeau's dick, if I say something mean about Aaron O'Toole, if I have to go and explain the merits of that and the fact that I'm apolitical, which I fucking truly am, because if you have not been completely grossed out by politics over the past 4 or 5 years, you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
So I vote my conscience according to the person who I think would do a good job, in as much as I understand that person that I'm voting for. That's what I do. I don't care about the party. Some will say it's a recipe for disaster. I don't give a shit. But my point is this, is that I'm indifferent to any of it emotionally, because I've run it through that lens that it is completely third party. Will I be emotional about things that I need to be emotional about? Absolutely. These people that act like dicks when they're not wearing masks and make everybody else's fucking life uncomfortable when they're shopping at Byway. Of course I'm going to call that person a piece of shit, because that's a piece of shit move, right? You're harassing people. Harassing people is actually against the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, in the fucking Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So, like, you sit there and lecture me about that while you're harassing everybody, while you're fucking debasing the Charter of Rights and Freedoms right in front of me. But nobody actually fucking brings that stuff up, right? What they do is they go, it's freedom of speech. No, it's not. You lost that freedom of speech when they instituted these emergency policies, which overrides the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And if you want to go back to why you're breaking that charter right now, you're being an absolute cunt in the airport. So those aren't conversations that we have anymore. But those are all merit-based conversations.
Yeah, I'm tired of the box checking. That's the thing that, and I think
Fuck
that's
'em.
yeah.
Why pay attention to it, dude?
Yeah, I'm more about quality over quantity, I guess, or maybe that's not even the way of putting it. The character and action, and how good is your product, no matter what that product is, whether it's politics or whether it's something else. How good is your product? That's something where I've always thought. I like the Twitter thing, though. I'm going to have to raise my bar, because right now I don't have a follower bar for responding. I have a photo bar.
You have to. You cannot mix with dickheads. You can't go in the swamp unless there's something in it for you.
Yeah, because now my rule before that was I'm not going to respond if you don't have a profile picture. But I think that's I'm aiming too low, way too low.
No, because and I've said this before on Twitter, is that if you don't have at least 500 followers, if I don't respond to your hatred, literally no one knows about it. No one cares.
Yeah.
It's math. It's math. No one cares because no one follows you. So why would I fucking pay attention and give that gas, right? It's just math. No one cares about you online. And so if, like I said, if you're going to get in there, if someone's going to say something like, hey, Kris, I heard your show today. You don't have any hair. Fuck you. That's when you go, follower count, 1,290. Yeah, I'll respond to that.
Yeah, I've got something for you.
Yeah, and then sometimes I include like some of our content in it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So it gets a good bump. But when someone hates you with like 80,000 followers, you've probably done something wrong.
That's the litmus test there.
Yeah. That's kind of my understanding. Is if someone's got more followers than me and I've said something, it's probably wrong, and I should probably go figure that out.
My wife almost unfollowed me today, actually.
Why?
Because I posted this thing with Gilbert Godfrey, doing "Wet Ass Pussy" by Cardi B, and she couldn't handle it. I played it off the top of the podcast. Here it is again.
Yeah, you fucking with some wet-ass pussy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass pussy. Give me everything you got for this wet-ass pussy.
It's not bad.
Now, was that one of his? I fucking love him. I've interviewed him half a dozen times, and he is such a sweet, small, demure.
He's so
kind,
petite, right?
Funny fucking guy. Yeah. Was that Cameo?
I don't know what that was.
Did he do that one for $400?
I think no, he didn't. Maybe he did, but I think it was on TikTok. I mean, everything's on fucking TikTok now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we had a big meeting about TikTok today. We're getting into the TikTok game.
No.
Yeah, making an announcement. Yeah, we're in.
Fuck, I have to be on TikTok then too.
Hop on top. I want to ride. I do a Kegel while it's inside.
I think that's my favorite line. I do a Kegel while it's inside. That's poetry. I mean, it's
I love Cardi B, by the way.
It's filthy, but it's poetry.
For this wet-ass pussy.
You really trying.
For this wet-ass pussy.
Yeah, he really owns that last. It's like the Chuck D of wet ass pussy versions.
Oh, that was me.
That was incredible.
I slowed that down. That was me on purpose.
I don't care. That was incredible. I really liked it.
That's good.
And a little side note about Cardi B.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people would, if you know me a little bit, you go, Dean probably hates her. I think she's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
She's the edge. She's an edgelord, and not in a bad way. She is everything that she wants to be, and she grew up wanting to do. She's doing.
Yeah.
And she's doing it with like a 7th grade education.
Yeah.
Like that.
Power to you.
She's a former stripper. She's. That's her Pepsi commercial or Pepsi halftime commercial at last year's Super Bowl, not this year, but last year's Super Bowl. I'm like, that was really clever. She was really good. And then I see some of the shit that comes out of her mouth, and it makes no sense, but it makes me laugh. And it's unfiltered because she doesn't give a fuck. Isn't that a fucking incredible way to live?
I think it is.
Incredible as if we all could live like we didn't give a shit, which is the best part of this Stoic philosophy. You need a life philosophy. You got to get one.
Yeah. The problem is I think if we live that way, there'd be some lawsuits. More of them anyway. There might be.
No, there's some virtue in Stoic living too. It's not just about doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
But actually being a good person, having a great time, and not giving a shit about all the negative crap.
Well, I like that you
like it.
Say that too about Cardi B. I like Cardi B as well, and I like Cardi B, and I like Wrecking Ball. What's her face? Miley Cyrus. Yeah, I like.
Scares me a bit.
I do. That's what I like about her.
Yeah, she's dangerous.
Yeah,
she's one of those. She's gender fluid.
Yeah,
she is. She'll be married one day. The next day she'll go, I think I want to go and chew some box.
Yeah,
and
peyote
does that,
and peyote,
just like, and then tells everybody they can fuck off. What's not to love? Like that is she just does what she wants. Again, she's probably more well educated than Cardi B. Let's be honest. But at the same time, her dad is like one of the greatest weed smokers in the history of weed smokers. Like he's fucking Willie Nelson 2.0. Or she was married to fucking Thor's brother. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, there was an article I think that said Miley Cyrus is more punk rock than punk rock now in whatever year it was, and I couldn't disagree. I mean, remember there was that video of her like squatting and peeing just on the side of the road somewhere, and she put it on her Instagram, and I'm just like, holy jeez.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the fappening to see her naked either. Like her naked shots are like everywhere. You know what I mean?
I remember the fappening. Great reference.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, it's an old one. Or whatever it's called, X Hamster. You don't have to go to any of those sites. You can just go to like Google and type in Miley naked, and she's willingly taken millions of pictures of herself, other people, different, like she's crazy.
Yeah.
She's legitimately crazy, which is why she scares me. But fuck, she can sing her balls off.
Well, that's
right?
impressive too, right? But again, I love rock and roll. I'm pretty sure you're a rock guy too, right, Dean? Like
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I still have to admit that like the real rock stars of today are these people that we're mentioning, right? Like
for sure.
They've got the edge, like you say. Okay, we got to wrap up in a second here, Dean. But lastly, I know you're a fan of Oak Island. Are you caught up?
Episode 17?
I'm not.
17 dropped?
Yeah, from Sunday night.
Hold it. No. I'm going to find this fucking out right fucking now because
Okay.
it's my favorite show on television. There's not many things I get excited for
Yeah,
to watch on television.
but Oak Island is one of them.
The Curse of Oak Island with Rick and Marty Lagina.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's not
Gary.
forget Billy Gerhardt, heavy
Billy
equipment
Gerhardt,
operator.
the body. They call him the body, Billy Gerhardt.
Oh, I should have got him on a hotkey tonight.
The front end loader operator, the heavy machinery operator, Billy Gerhardt.
Yeah.
If you're a man, if you're a male, because men are like dogs. We were born to dig in the dirt. That's just kind of one of the things we were supposed to be doing. It's like in our DNA.
Yeah.
You have to watch this show.
It's incredible.
It is two guys from Michigan. Yes, there's 17. It's episode 17. It's called Staking Their Claim. It's the last one. I haven't seen it. Don't
I
tell me
watched
what's
that.
going on.
I watched that right before we hopped on tonight.
Okay, don't say a
Okay,
fucking word. Not a word. Not a word. Because I'm gonna stream that illegally in like, I don't know,
10 minutes.
10 minutes here. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No, but if you haven't seen the show, the history they're uncovering
It's
on
wild.
this little island in Nova Scotia called Oak Island that dates back 500-600 years, even 1,000 years,
Possibly.
which predates all recorded historical visits that we've had to this country. There is a legend of a treasure buried deep within the surface of Oak Island.
And there's plenty of evidence, though. That's the thing.
And there is plenty
It's not
of evidence.
crazy.
And these guys and the shit they've uncovered, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like people get, where's the treasure every week? Where's the treasure? It's going to be the treasure.
Yeah, my
It's
wife
hunt
is
for
the where's the
7
treasure.
years.
That's my wife right there.
Yeah, fuck. You tell your wife to cool it because this is the coolest show on the fucking planet. And they've uncovered the history they've uncovered is the treasure to me. That's because I love fucking history. I absolutely live for it. The older it is, the cooler it is. And then I want to know everything about that old thing, right? That's kind of how I am. So when you watch this show, and if you love history, how it's changing history as we know it here in Canada, which is one thing, which I love. But the stuff they're uncovering, these 400-year-old piers that were enormous. Now they're finding this massive cobblestone road that goes through this
all the way up
swamp that was covered by feet of silt for hundreds of years. That goes all the way up. Don't tell me anymore.
Well, they say it's a man-made swamp. That's the other thing. Like,
yeah, and it blows you. Everything they find blows your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Everything they find.
It's to me. I've been following Oak Island, Dean, since I was in the 3rd grade. I did a class project on it.
Did you really?
I did an old treasure map of Oak Island, and I dipped it in
Presidents of the United States have dug
Roosevelt.
coins.
Yep.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
If this isn't legitimate enough for you, it's one of the guys that was exploring Oak Island like 100 years ago.
Yep. There's so many incredible expeditions that have failed because of booby traps, man. This isn't the Goonies. This is real life. But they've got booby traps, like flood tunnels and like crazy stuff. It's wild. Anyways, I won't spoil tonight's episode. I'll let you go watch it, Dean. But I want to do an Oak Island round table in the future. Would you like to come back and be part of the Oak Island?
You know what we got to
table?
do? Yeah, I would. And what we got to do is we got to bring on one of the guys from the show. Maybe Billy.
Yeah.
Maybe Gary.
Yeah.
Maybe
I want
Rick.
If I could get one of the Laginas. Here's the other thing. Okay, so
Would you want Rick or Marty?
I would want Rick because he reminds me of my dad.
Rick is very stoic. Very. Rick's a rock. Marty's a rock too, but Marty's a little more peppy. I think I might want to talk to Marty. Maybe we can get Marty and Rick.
I think Marty's too pragmatic for me. He's too much of a business guy. Rick can be a dreamer and a speculator. I like that. Personally,
Rick's a dreamer.
Yeah, he is a dreamer. He's the dreamer of the bunch. Anyways, Curse of Oak Island. You're right. I would love to get some of these guys on and maybe bring a roundtable in. And Dean, you're welcome back on that one. And we'll get real deep into it because, like I say, I'm an enthusiast from a long time, like grade school time. So I'm so glad.
That's awesome. And you dipped that. You made the map and you dipped it in tea to make it look old.
Oh yeah. I made it old. It's old map, and I had like a feather. Feather with ink, and I made a scrawling on it and everything. Like I was a really artistic, detail-oriented kid. Trust me, it was.
Yeah, no shit.
It was shocking. Yeah.
Sort of boring.
Yeah, I mean,
probably pretty boring to hang out with when you're a kid.
Yeah, man. I was making maps and playing bagpipes. That's my youth, man. That was.
Yeah. Hang on, I unplugged here.
Oh, that's good, man.
I was making maps. And playing the bagpipes.
What can I say?
Yeah, you and I would never have hung out.
No, trust me. Yeah, definitely not, man. Definitely not. I was not the cool guy to hang out with in high school, but I found my way into the cool crowd. I did find my way, like we talked about.
Yeah,
backstage.
You're a cool guy. You're a super cool guy. And listen, really happy that you're part of the network. And I dig your stuff. Like I really loved your dad, your dad podcast segment, and your stuff with Ashley McIsaac. Like I said, was fucking brilliant too. He was cool. He was really cool. He was just smoking indoors. I couldn't believe he was smoking indoors.
Oh yeah, he was rolling and puffing dubs the whole time. It was great. And then he'd pick up his fiddle and play a couple of tunes. And I know he's had a bit of a rocky past, but he's just a salt of the earth guy. I understand him fully when I'm talking to him. I'm like, yep, he's just a Cape Breton lad. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was a thrill for me. Like I say, awesome. Playing bagpipes as a kid too. All those tunes are right in deep because they translate.
Yeah, a little Sleepy Maggie or whatever they call that. Was it Sleepy Maggie?
Yeah. Yeah. Sounded something not even close to that. Yeah. Dean Blundell and DeanBlundell.com. Thank you very much for being on the podcast tonight.
I appreciate. Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me.
And thanks to RetroCat.ca. You can check out their website, RetroCat.ca.
Check out their website.
/Big Kris Live, and you get
/Big Kris Live.
10% off. That's right.
Really? 10% off with Big Kris Live?
That's right. 10% off. RetroCat.ca /Big Kris Live. Thank you again, everyone. Find the podcast after the fact through Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And, of course, DeanBlundell.com.